So you may have seen our other video where we discuss the process of actually selecting different types of running shoes based on certain properties they have. And this could be properties including road shoes versus trail shoes, how much cushioning they have, do they have a lot of drop versus, are they a zero drop or a flatter shoe? And then you'll notice that we've kind of breezed over the support type. So that's where I started mentioning things like stability, neutral, pronation, motion control, just terms that I was throwing out. And this is now a good chance to go into those in a lot more detail. So the terminology here differs a lot by manufacturer. It differs a lot, frankly, even by running shoe store, even amongst the best ones. And I thought it would be good to try and help define that and lay that out. So broadly speaking, there's three different types of support that your shoe will be constructed with. There's motion control, there's cushioning, and then there's neutral or stability, and they're basically synonymous these days. Things have changed over time. Another term that is important to define is the word pronation. You often hear people say, oh, I'm an overpronator, I don't pronate enough, but what does that mean? Pronation basically refers to when your foot lands on the ground, how much does it flatten itself out and smear your heel off to the side? It's kind of the Goldilocks of running from a biomechanical standpoint. What that means is you need enough pronation to absorb shock and not just be bone on concrete. But if you have too much, it will increase stress through different parts of your foot. And here, the shoe can help you manage or not manage that depending on what your issues may be. So the simplest of these is a cushion shoe, and it quite literally prioritizes cushioning above all else. So it will have a lot of foam between the ground and your foot. It does place you a half inch to an inch off the ground, and one trade-off is your brain isn't going to know that your foot is that high up. So if you do have a misstep, all of a sudden the process of not rolling your foot or your ankle gets a little trickier. But this can be great for somebody who has any kind of bony abnormality like spurs or a history of stress fracture, or who has a stiffer or high arched foot where the actual impact force is the most, let's say, pressing issue that you need help with from your shoe. A motion control shoe. Now this is for somebody whose problems, if you have problems, may stem from overpronation. Basically your foot flattening out so much that not only does it absorb shock, but it stresses itself out. A motion control shoe is to help you mitigate that. So what it's going to do is it'll have a lot of sort of bolstering or stiffening of the foam through the middle of the shoe. You'll notice this is really hard to twist in the back. And that's to help bolster the inside of your foot to reduce how much it flattens out. Some of these shoes even actually are angled off to the side a little bit and deliberately lift up the inside of your foot to further help you to get to that goal. One trade-off here, this looks like it has a lot of cushioning, but it's pretty hard cushioning. So it doesn't actually absorb nearly as much shock as a cushioned shoe that may otherwise look similar. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're prioritizing. Then you also have a neutral or a stability shoe. This is basically for people who don't need one of these. So if you don't have a specific need to mitigate impact forces, how hard you land, or you don't have a specific need to mitigate pronation, how much your foot deforms on the ground, this might be for you. They tend to be pretty malleable. You can bend them easily any which way. They're not designed to give you any specific support. This is just a shoe. This is something I know can be kind of a confusing topic, so my hope here was to just give you a bit better overview of just what these differences are. What you can do is combine this knowledge with some of the terms and traits that we went over in the other video to help best equip you for going into a shoe store and picking out self-directedly, what is the best shoe for me, what am I going to do best running in.